Ginger Conejero Saab is an NBC Bay Area reporter, producer, beauty queen, and empowered mom. Her passion and drive for doing what she does, both as a reporter and a mom, continues to inspire Filipinos all over the world. Whether she is shooting on location or taking care of her family, Ginger gives everything. She does her all, and that is what makes her the inspiring individual that she is today.
Hi, guys, and welcome to another episode of In Love With Me, where we feature inspiring individuals who will share their amazing stories. I am your host, Mafae Velasco, and for this series, our topic is passion and purpose. For this episode, we have an empowered woman, beauty queen, producer, reporter, and an empowered mom to motivate us to take action. So without further ado, let me welcome the beautiful and amazing Ginger Conejero Saab. Hi, Ginger.
Oh my God, that's such a beautiful welcome, Mafae. Thank you so much. What a trip down memory lane, looking at all those photos.
I know, right? I know. And, you're a pro at this, so I'm going to, have the tables turned and get to know you more. Of course, I know you, but you're just such a strong woman, talented and, empowered. So I wanted to share you with everyone, especially at this time, because everybody needs a boost of happy hormones. So Ginger, I know you've been busy during this time, during quarantine period, so many challenging issues. But before I ask you all about what you've been doing lately, can you please share with everyone on how you are the empowered and inspiring woman that you are today?
Oh God, that's so sweet. You know, I no, you just gotta deal with what you're given with, right? I mean, I think you're empowered because of your family. You're empowered because of your friends. I think, there is a beautiful confidence that comes from within when you become a mother, because you find this new purpose in life, and everything. If you didn't have kind of, this passion or this purpose for doing things before, I think like when you become a mother, I don't know, I never really gave it too much thought, but I feel like it just kind of happened, where it's like you want to do things because you want to make your family proud of you. You want to do things because, I want my daughter to grow up one day and be like, hey, things can happen for me, like I just have to work hard, and I want to be a good example for her, and so, that's always kind of a guiding light, I think. But, I think it's really sweet. It's very humbling to hear all the kind words from you. I'm I don't really know what to say. It's very.
We somewhat grew up together, somewhat. I've known Ginger for years, and I've just seen her blossom, just with your career, now with your family. I think this is the first time we've actually talked since you've had your daughter. And she's like, this is like a different Ginger right here. I love it.
I know. It's an older Ginger. And I like to think wiser Ginger than the one that you first met years ago. But I don't know. I question. I'm just kidding. Yeah, it's a fun journey.
Yeah, super. I mean, coming from your pageant days to starting off with your hosting and newscasting. I still remember when you were still doing location out here in the Philippines and running around trying to get like everyone interviewed. And I remember Nick and I were just talking about it. Look, remember when Gigi used to run to us every single time? Can I just interview you guys? Can I just interview?
Absolutely.
I mean, when did that whole hosting and reporting start? Like why did you find that passion in doing that?
So it started for me, as you mentioned, in the Philippines in 2007, and that seems like ages ago. But and I started off as a, at ABS, you started off as a police reporter, and then you kind of like make your way through. I moved into entertainment, whereas other reporters usually do like the crime beat and then go into general assignment. But then I became an entertainment reporter, so that's why I was running after you and Nick. And anytime that there was anything with the basketball and beauty queens and power couples, and that was just my, that was just my thing. You just always kind of looking to find or to to do the right story, which I find myself in the same boat in now, but just with the
Yeah, there you are.
sorry.
Yeah, no, it's okay.
Sorry about that. Stuff happens live.
Yes,
My
it
parents
does.
are calling me as if my parents are calling me like they always have my whole life. But so yeah, no, and I just really, I think, when I was in the Philippines, like I really loved what I was doing. And I there's like a thrill to reporting. There's a thrill to live reporting, especially. And it's like the nerves are going through you, but your mind is, kind of racing, and then you've got your emotions as well. And then it's just very exciting. It's a rush, it's an adrenaline rush that I haven't been able to compare to others or, like match. So I feel like if I take time away from it, babalik at babalik ka rin. Like there's a part of you just fallen in love with it.
And that's what you're doing. You've kind of like, reinvented yourself. You've elevated into, being in the Philippines, newscasting, and then now in the Bay Area as a newscaster. Like, it's so amazing just to see you transition into that. And Nick and I are like, oh my gosh, she's in the Bay Area doing the news there. And just hearing your accent now is like different from when you were out here. So I was like, yep, she's American. She's gone
funny.
there.
Somebody told me that. That's so funny. Somebody told me that even at TFC, because I'm still very much with TFC. I part-time with NBC Bay Area, mostly on the weekends, but I'm very much still very very much still kapamilya. So one of my coworkers from TFC was like, why does your accent sound different? Why do you speak English differently when you're at the other place? And I'm like, what? Really? I don't know. And then it's funny because when I first came back to my high school friends and stuff, they'd be like, girl, I hear that accent. And I was like, really? I have an accent? Like I just don't hear it. But yeah, there's, you kind of, you're transitioning. Oh my God. But that's, it's a dream to be given an opportunity with, a big Bay Area station. But there's so much more to learn. And there's always, I'm constantly challenged, and I'm constantly just like soaking in the experience because there are people who have been doing this for years. And, I can only hope to learn from them as I go through.
So going through your career, who are the hosts or reporters that you look up to or want to follow their footsteps in your career?
Well, in the Philippines, I think it would be, I've always looked up to Ces Drilon in the Philippines. I think when I was definitely first starting, not too long after, was the Manila siege, and I think she handled that incredibly well. I know she's gone through her fair share of maybe life-threatening coverages. So she's always been somebody that I've looked up to. And then of course, you watch people on international news, and you watch the Barbara Walters and the Christiana Amanpours, and you always just don't you're like, how did they do that? How is it even possible? But there are a lot of Bay Area reporters, I think, now that I'm just like, wow, like the investigative unit at NBC. I'm like, you guys are pretty cool.
Yeah.
And it's a pleasure to kind of, if I get a little starstruck if I'm on a call with somebody. I'm like, play cool. You're like, hey, hey there,
You're
Tom.
ready. You're,
But you're like, oh my God, that's a really cool story that you did. You know, it's really deep inside. You're like, you know, a little starstruck because that's just
yeah.
your line of work as well.
And then, of course, when you moved to the Philippines, I think I guess it's same somewhat experience moving back to San Francisco is leaving your comfort zone because somewhat you lived here for a while and then Bay Area is your home too. But like you were saying, it's like different culture, different expressions or accents in the Koreas. So how did you I guess what was your mindset going back and forth? Knowing that okay, this is home now. How did you stay inspired and motivated?
Oh gosh, girl, I don't know. I feel like I didn't have too much time to think about all of that, to be honest. I mean, I moved back home because I think I've been very like open about it on like social media and stuff, but I moved home because my mom was diagnosed with ovarian cancer and we're still fighting it. It's a struggle. And I told her back then, I said, I loved my career in the Philippines and I don't honestly think that anything would have brought me back. But when I found out that she was sick, I was like, I found out on like a Saturday and I was out by Tuesday, and so I think maybe I didn't know myself either, but I think like when I moved back home, I just knew my priority was to be with my mom. I knew it still is. And I know that one of my biggest kind of goals is to make her proud, and to make her happy. And I think that, for some time, she felt like guilty because she was like, oh no, I kind of took you from something that you really loved in the Philippines. And then so I didn't want her to feel that way. So I said, okay, well, I'm going to continue to do what I love here. And it's going to, you don't even think about it. Right. And so, I'm blessed to have, we have TFC. There's a lot going on, I think, in the news, as everybody knows, maybe in the Philippines with ABS-CBN. And we're, in a position, I feel very like empowered and proud to be part of TFC. And I hope to continue telling the stories that may be harder to access there in the Philippines. But anyways, before I vent off, I'm kind of going into a whole
No, it's okay. Yeah.
there's, I think you just you do it for the right reasons and you do it for the people that you love and for the things that you love and feel passionate about. And I know not to sound cheesy, but I seriously pray about just guidance, and so I feel like God has guided us every step of the way, because there's absolutely no way that I would have an idea as to where I would be,
Right.
you asked me, I don't know, 3 years ago or 4 years ago when I moved home, if you'd asked me like, oh, what do you think is going to happen? I would have absolutely no idea that I would be married, with a daughter and one on the way and another one on the way. And, to still have like the career that I love, so that really very much is all God given.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. It's all about perfect time, God's plan. Although you planted the seed already a while back. I don't know if you still remember this. I think it was like around 2010, 11. I was working in the airport firewood grill. Remember that? You came in and met me. And I think you were flying back home, but then you had a meeting with TFC. And I was just like, Ginger, stay now. I'm here. And you're like, oh, I think I still need to finish stuff. But hey, they wanted you, and I guess everything was already set in stone for you. It's just a matter of making that choice, and like you said, it was all God's time, and I'm so happy to see you grow there and just be with your family too. I know that's your happy place. Yeah, growing your little family too. Gosh, Ginger.
Girl, I need to get all the advice I can from you, girl, because I don't know how you do it. But, I think you're always scared to leave something that's comfortable, right? And like, you're always the future, if it's uncertain, the future is always uncertain, and that's kind of the way that I try to think about even fighting cancer with my mom. It's like it may be uncertain, but it, you know, you have no other choice but to just like face it head on and do the very best that you can. So, you know, again, like, I think it's like super humbling and super sweet, like all the words, but I don't know what to say, because it's like, you know, I didn't have a roadmap. I sure as hell don't have a roadmap for anybody else. But I think it's really just like work hard and maybe keep going. I'm still fighting for my dreams and trying to learn as much as I can. So, you know,
but you know what? Your actions and everything you've done, I think I've witnessed most of that while you were here in the Philippines, and I just saw you grind, you know. You never forgot where you came from, and I think that goes to show that your mom really showed you strength. You know, we have to really thank your mom, and you know, we're all praying for everything to be okay, but at least you're by her side, you know, and she is witnessing how you are successful in your life. Ginger, you're amazing. You know, you're still doing what you're doing. You have your family now, you know, and you're multiplying into little gingers, you know, and making sure that you leave a map, you know, like that stamp. So I know you said that you don't know how you're getting to places, but I think you do, you know, just with your strong mindset. And I mean, as simple as like doing these lives, like that's not easy. You know, your mind has to be like constant, right? It's not like a script given to you that you have to memorize. Like, and that's what I always admired about you. I'm like, dang, how is she just talking? How is it coming out? Like, you know.
Well, you gotta ask my husband now. He's probably like, shut it. Tell her to stop talking. I don't know what I got myself into. But yeah. Sometimes I'm like, oh, let me practice on you. Let me just keep talking and see how far I can go.
And that's what I still remember about you. You know, you're like your energy was just always high. You always had this like positive smile, and you know, that's why it was so fun for me to hang out with you, Rena, and Alexa. Like, that was a super fun group. But let me go back to your career, just so that people know, like, if in case, like, you know, like you were saying earlier, like in lives, there's technical difficulties or something goes wrong, what goes through your mind on how to stay positive in that situation?
Yeah, absolutely. I think there are always setbacks, right? I mean, even like looking to do a story and you're like, oh man, why did I say that? Oh my God, I'm such an idiot. I think that happened to me like 2 weekends ago. And I was like, oh, I could have done so much better. I think, you know, while it's a strength to always like be, you know, critical of yourself, I think it's also important, you know, to kind of, give yourself a break too. But what do I tell myself is, you know, you work hard. Like, I don't think you can ever, you know, think that you got to that there's no room for growth. I think if you get to a place where there's no room for growth, then you're being, you know, detrimental to yourself more than anybody else. And so, and I don't think that anybody could ever be, in a place where they can't take criticism, or they can't take, you know, constructive criticism, right? And always look at themselves and think that there are ways for me to get better, whether it's career oriented, whether it's you as a friend, you as a mother, you as a wife, or a daughter. Like, there's always room for improvement. And I think like that humility is something that's very important, so that you have that, so that hunger kind of continues to drive you. Like, I want to be better. I want to be the best version of myself. And so I'm going to work at it. I'm not always going to be good at it, but you know, but I'm going to work at it. And I think that's all you can really ask for.
I agree with that. I mean, you can't settle, right? You can't say, oh, I'm perfect already. You just have to keep knowing that you can be better. I mean, Ginger, to me, you know, I feel as though she's making it. She's made it. But to her, since she's such a perfectionist, she wants to make sure that she does a better job next time. She will keep trying. And that's, you know, such a great characteristic, just coming, you know, like you leading the way or paving the way for others that want to follow your footsteps. So speaking of that, people like me and others that want to be as talented as you are in your career, what would be your advice on how to start or how to maintain or what to prepare?
Gosh, sometimes I tell this to some of the younger, maybe some of our fresh grads who come and intern at TFC. I don't think that there's a way to, I don't know. I don't think that there's a way to like fast forward through like the learning or the grind. And so I try to kind of take on as much as I can because there's always something that you can take away from it. And I think like I look back and I'm kind of like, okay, yeah, that did help. Like, getting paid as a police reporter in the Philippines versus possibly like how much you could be making even with a different 9 to 5 back in the Bay Area. That's very different. But I think it's like, give it to me, I'm gonna work at it and I'm gonna learn. I think there's always like, I don't know. I think sometimes I see like people who are so, who give so much priority to maybe like how they look on cam. If you want to be on cam, like I talk to kids sometimes and then they're like, I want to be on cam. I want to be a host. And I'm like, okay, that's great. I'm so glad that you because I probably didn't know at your age, but at the same time, it's also like, hey, know what's behind the camera, know how to write, know how to have certain skills that make you multifaceted so that before, I think it's a bonus to be seen on cam or to be able to have like your name on camera. But if not, it's like the most important thing are putting the stories out there, putting that content out there. Right. And so then you also kind of like, I don't know, you don't compete with the importance of the story. It's like you're the way to deliver it, but you're not the star. Like if you wanted to be a star, then be an artist, be like an actress, be an actor. And maybe they would even have some thoughts about like, that's not really me being a star. It's like me portraying a character.
Right.
But I think like, I think ego aside is really maybe one of the best pieces of advice that people have given me, never be like too big to do anything or to learn from someone.
Yes, I like that. So, speaking of, our topic is purpose and passion. What would be your definition of passion and purpose? Sorry.
Passion and purpose. Gosh. I guess I define purpose as what really drives you every day, like what really makes you do the stuff that you don't feel like doing, makes you want to get up out of bed and do something. And then passion, I think, is when you don't feel like it's work. I don't know. When you effort and it doesn't even feel like it. Hi, sorry, am I back?
Yeah, you're back.
I had to plug in a little bit. I think my phone's running out of battery. I'm at work still, as you can see. But yeah, I don't know how much of that cut off, but I probably don't have a good angle now.
No, you do. Yeah, you're talking about your purpose and passion.
Yeah, so I was just gonna say, or I was saying, I don't know where I got cut off, but I think my purpose really is kind of like what makes me get up in the morning, right? Like I'm a mom. I gotta go fix my daughter's milk. I gotta make sure that she gets dressed and ready for the day. I feel like that's really my purpose, like being a wife and a mother. And but I don't know if they may be two different things too. I know there's a side of me that's like passionate about that, but I also am very passionate about my work. And that's the stuff that makes me feel like, gosh, the time doesn't even, like, I can't even feel the hours pass by when I'm at work, because I'm like, okay, I'm enjoying this.
Mm-hmm. And I think that's what's the key. I have listened to so many other successful people, and it's like your playground. It's like you'd play there for hours and hours and hours, like you're like a little kid again. And that's really something that you need to find within you. And like you said, it comes through experience. It comes through just knowing why you want to wake up in the morning. I mean, of course, you do your work or your career for your family. I mean, that's a different priority when you are placed in that situation. But even before that, even before you had a family, I knew, I saw you, Ginger, like just working and grinding in that aspect. I mean, I think people even forgot that you were a beauty queen, and that's a whole different story altogether. But I think that's what also made who you are. If you weren't in the Philippines because of that, do you think that maybe you would still be in the position that you are today?
No, I think, you know what, like every part of that story contributed to, where I am, because I think like I would have never put myself out there if not for a pageant. Oh my God, like being in a bikini and heels, like, are you kidding me? Oh my goodness. Oh, that. Sorry. I'm a mess right now with this setup because my phone's about to run out of battery. I think I just undid the.
It's okay, guys.
Anyway.
This is the real Ginger. This is the behind the scenes. She's all real and she's amazing still. I admire this woman. I know, Ginger, your husband's waiting for you to go home because you're just workaholic. But before we go, can you share with everyone?
Hello. Oh my God, girl, look at me. I'm a mess.
Okay, before we wrap up
now, your life started off with like this setup, and then now it's just like me holding my phone. Oh my God, it's a disaster. This is
okay.
the office.
Oh, there it is. Anyways. Awesome. Okay, yeah. So before we wrap up, because I know you need to go home to your family, can you share with everyone your pillars that you live by?
These are all questions, and oh my God, I'm doing so bad. Jeez.
It's okay. You've been working all day.
I'm doing so
we
bad.
understand.
You should have asked for these questions before. I should know better.
You're natural. Please.
No, God, pillars for success. I have.
For you. I mean, you don't have
pillars. To. Yeah, I know. Gosh, I feel like I want to contribute something, something nice, something good. But well, I think maybe just pillars. Pillars for life. I mean, pillar is heavy. Like, okay, but so like pillar is a beautiful word because it's like it's really what grounds you, right? I feel like.
Yeah.
But I guess, off the top of my head, I think like a pillar for me is, family, faith, I think, staying humble and being, I think, compassionate to being as compassionate as you can be to your neighbors, like to your fellow human beings. I say that, I think, with a little bit more of like, especially what's going on here in the States with the, Black Lives Matter and the racial injustice that we see with that, and that how that even trickles into our community. I mean, I don't know. It really, I think I've been like personally affected, just because it's, when you see kind of these, what the horrible things that happen to people, I just don't understand how people could have so much hate in their heart for other people just because of how they look or how they. So, so if I had to choose four, I think like off the top of my head, if this were to be like a beauty pageant question, but it would be those four: faith, family, humility, and compassion.
Mm-hmm. Those are nice. I love it, Ginger. You're still a beauty queen in my eyes.
Oh,
but
God,
But I know, you are amazing. You are a busy woman, and you continue to inspire a lot of people, including myself, regardless of, how near or far you are. We're still connected in some way, and I'm cheering you on, Ginger. If you need advice, yes, just come to me when it comes to motherhood. I mean, I'm not also perfect, but I can guide you. But you're doing an amazing job. Your daughter is amazing. She's so gorgeous. And belated happy birthday to your mom.
Basketball team. I know you've been having your own basketball team for a while. I don't know. I'm like, I don't think I could. I would not.
Yeah, we're good. We're good. We thank God for all our kids, and we said, okay, that's good enough. Let's share them. Let's share them to others like Ginger. But regardless, great to catch up with you. I know we've got many more things to talk about. Even remember the lip gloss.
Oh my God. Yes.
Anyways, it's a different story. I love this girl.
I'm always down to come back on, and chat with you more. And I promise the next time I do that, I'm going to have like a real setup, and it's not going to be, my birthday dinner that's waiting. And,
Yes, go home, enjoy your celebration. Love you, Ginger. Thank you so much. And guys,
thank you so much for having me. Congratulations.
Nick says hi. So guys, I know you can learn so much more from Ginger, and even though she's such a busy woman, I'm sure that she is more than happy to answer any more questions or give advice to the life journey, or even becoming a reporter or host or a beauty queen. So with that, guys, I love you, Ginger, and actions speak louder than words. And thank you for tuning in this episode of In Love With Me. Thanks, Ginger. I'll text you.
Bye.
Drive safe.
Thank you for watching In Love With Me series.